Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching from this evening on this Monday night. It's a quiet night tonight, but for us in the Midwest, it's pretty nice because it's really warm outside and it's not freezing cold anymore. So hopefully it gets better from then on and spring comes early. So tonight, Lillian won't be with me. She has other stuff she has to do, but she will be with us next week. This evening, it's going to be a great evening as we talk about more films and independent work, arts, however you want to put it that way. But for right now, I'm going to give everyone just a little bit. Go ahead and share the link that we have going live right now. Tell your friends, tune in because I have a very, very special guest we are going to introduce. So just let's go ahead and I will go ahead and run another 30-second timer so everyone can go ahead and share it. All right, well, hopefully that's enough time for everyone to share it. So now I would like to introduce someone who I've known for almost 9 years, I think, 9, 10 years. We worked on each other. We worked with each other on set of Fate Forthcoming. She was one of my actresses on there. And we did, I believe it was Shadowmere that she came out and she played as a crazy scientist in that one, from what I remembered. If you can watch that trailer, it's on YouTube. It's one of our old projects we did. She is also known for being in the movie Jade, Bridge of Doom, Top Gunner, and Bleed American. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Emily. I'm gonna get her last name wrong because I always do. Emily Eruraviel. Eruraviel. I'm gonna ask her. Emily. Emily.
Eruraviel.
Eruraviel.
Yeah.
Eruraviel. Okay, Eruraviel. I'll make sure I remember that. Like, I've known you for 10 years and I still can't get your name right. Your last name right.
It's a difficult one.
It's a difficult. So, Emily, how are you doing on this Monday evening? First of all, thank you for tuning in with us and jumping on and being a guest. I know it was a little bit last minute. How are you doing this evening?
Good. It's nice and warm here in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. You guys don't. Oh, I mean, how do you guys have the? Are you doing the daylight savings over there
Yeah,
too?
it's terrible.
Well, I mean, we lost an hour's sleep yesterday, but it's so weird because it's like 7:26 right now, and I'm so used to it being dark already. By now I'm late. It feels so weird that it's only. I was like, this is weird. 7 o'clock and it's still bright outside. It's weird, but I guess that's the best part because I don't like it being dark at like 2 in the afternoon, and I don't know if we really need daylight savings. I know what it used to be used for, but I think we shouldn't have to use it. So sweet. Well, what has been new with you, Emily? Like, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Um, Currently, I have a project coming up that I am doing voiceover work for in Windsor, Canada,
Oh,
for a show. Let's see, just had a movie hit Netflix in the UK and Amazon Prime in the US called Jade.
ooh. Jade. Okay, okay. I saw that one.
That
How
that came out February 9th in the US.
February 9th? Okay, okay. Cool, cool. That's awesome. Have you seen the movie yet? No, it's all right. There are so many actors out there who don't like to watch their own films that they act in. And it's like I don't like watching myself act in something, but I am like tied up and forced to watch it because I'm also editing it. So I hate it. It's like a bittersweet type of moment. So what got you into how long have you been doing filmmaking? How long have you been an actress? How long have you been um
Um, 2015.
2015. So that was
Yeah,
10 years ago.
the end of 2015. Yeah.
What got you into acting?
I went to a Comic-Con. There was an actor there from Marvel Agents of Shield, um, and had been talking to him. And he told me I should come audition for the film he was filming in Elgin, Illinois. So I did. I did not get a part, but went on there for 14 days as an extra. And after that, I just moved to LA.
There you go. I mean, just because you fail doesn't mean you have to quit.
Yeah.
So, no, that came out really cool. That's awesome. That's super awesome. Um, when you moved to LA, or I'm sorry, were you ever planning on trying to be an actress growing up? Was it like your dream? Was it like even a thought in your mind? No, you just said, I just want to try this and give it a shot, and you ended up enjoying it. I'm assuming.
I like being creative. So
Okay.
that's one of my creative outlets.
Okay, cool. So, um, with that being said about being creative, what probably is the most creative thing that you have done on set? Like creative, like scene, acting role,
Hmm.
like what's something creative that you like would highlight your acting career?
Hmm. I would say improv.
You like improv?
It's probably the most difficult for me.
Okay, the most difficult. Well, improv is
So also the most creative for me. The other
okay.
seems a lot more natural.
Okay. Improv, I don't know. Improv for me, like I couldn't do like those improv comedy stuff because it's just way too hard to do, and it's like you got to think on the fly. Even sometimes doing these podcasts, I have to sit and question like hey Keith, you got to start asking questions, make it roll through. So, also for those tuning in, thank you for tuning in. This evening we are with Emily. I'm not even going to try saying your last name because I. But everyone, the chat is open. So if you have any questions, concerns, you want to say hi to Emily, you want her to be on your set, directors, if you're out there, if you want her to be on your set, say something. Just say something. And she'll probably get back to you. No, she's pretty cool. I 100% recommend her to get you on her set.
Oh, thank you.
So, um, So, what is another? So, as an actress, what would you say? What was your best film that you worked on?
Probably Jade.
Jade. What was your? I'm not gonna say least because we don't want to get into that. What was your second best film?
Hmm, that's difficult. Um, Probably Bleed American.
Bleed American. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Jade. What is Jade about? Because I'm gonna pull it up over here. I'm
It's an
gonna
action movie.
There you go. It gives me that Kill Bill vibes. Not that one. There you go. Here's Jade, everyone. It says follows a woman who becomes a powerful businessman and a gang leader in their search for a hard drive that could damage the operation of Interpol. The woman is required to use her unique set of skills to retrieve the drive. Okay. It kind of gives me like that Kill Bill vibe. Is that like the look it's going for it?
It's a lot of action. Yeah. So they have Shane West in it. She was from Black Panther,
Okay.
and she's pretty badass in it. The director, James Bamford, he was the stunt guy on the show Arrow.
Okay. Oh.
So this was his directorial debut.
Debut, first time directing.
He's
I
done
have,
a few projects since then, but yeah, had a good cast. It was fun to work.
I I have to definitely go and check this out. This looks awesome. So let me see if I can. Oh, well, that's not a part of that. There you go. This looks awesome. Now I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down here and let's see. Let's see. Here's Emily. Who did you play as here? I don't know if that
I
works.
actually played Emily.
You played as Emily. That's what I'm like. I clicked it
My
because
character's name is also Emily. Yes.
you played as Emily. Okay, cool. So were you like? Was this like a voiceover? Was this like a?
Um, no, just a regular speaking role.
Oh, that's awesome. How long were you out shooting for?
Um, I was there for like 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah, it was. They were very to the point. It
That's
was
awesome.
a great set.
That's great. And how long? When did you like? How long was the production? Like not like your filming time, but how long did the production take before it came out?
Oh, how long did it take?
Yeah.
I know when they very first started, it was in like 2023.
Okay.
Is when they did first press releases through like Variety and stuff.
Okay.
Um, and then like as they added actors, there were more press releases. I know a bunch went out when Kat McNamara joined.
Nice.
Um, and then obviously some for like Mark Dacascos and the main cast.
Nice.
But yeah, it was
That's that's
action. It was like nonstop action.
it's like John Wick and Kill Bill came together. I'm just like watching all this stuff. It's really cool. That's really awesome. Um, so let's go to your second film that you did, and that you said was Bleed America. And also, again, for everybody, if you want to find Emily, here's her IMDb page, and you can check her out. I know all these ads are getting in the way. Here we go. And let's go to Bleed American. It was in 2019. So let's talk about Bleed American. What was that about?
Midwest family. It
Okay.
dealt with like a lot of alcohol and
There's Emily. There she is.
yeah. No, I enjoyed that project. That the people in it that was really fun. But it was the first bigger role that I had.
Okay. And then let's see. Who did you play as on here? Let's see if I can find you here.
Um,
Oh, there you go. Maddie. Maddie.
I
So
think.
can you tell us a little bit about Maddie?
Oh gosh, it's been a while. Oh, I should know more. Um,
Well, it came out in 2019, so that's okay. I
yeah,
know. So
it's been a minute. I do remember having a lot of fun on set. The director was great as well, and all the cast. Some of them have continued acting, and that's been really cool to see. Yeah, it was fun.
it was good. That's awesome. That's super awesome. Let's see if it switches back. Here we go, and we're back over here. So, do you travel in acting? Like, let's talk about for those people out there. Again, guys, the chat is open. So, if you have any questions for Emily, go ahead and ask. I see you guys are there. Just ask away. So Emily, what I wouldn't say what inspired you, but what is something that helped you become a better actress? Like, there's always those films that you work on that are just like, I didn't do my best, or I felt like I could do better. What would you say help you get better? Because let's say we're trying to help the people out there who are upcoming actors, actresses, and they want to get into this field. What would you say? How do you get yourself better?
Classes.
Classes.
Never stop taking classes. You can always learn.
So, do you think classes? Because I know on our last podcast we did talk about schooling. Do you think schooling is a must, or do you think it could be optional?
It could be optional.
Optional. So you don't think?
There are some people that have made it without doing it,
Okay.
but in general, I think it's pretty useful. The acting school I went to, just the connections you make too.
Okay.
And I've found if people are willing to put money into these things, they commit a lot more when there's money on the line.
There you go. So, would you say, okay, so let's talk about acting classes. Is there, I know there could be scams out there. I know a lot of people have told me there are scams out there. And what are some red flags? What are some red flags you can tell them about, like the the scams?
I would Google the classes and see what their accreditation, the what's going on with it. So I went to Joanne Barron and D.W. Brown in Santa Monica, California.
Okay.
Same school that Halle Berry went to, Luke Klein Tank. Um, Quite a few big actors went to the school, so I knew it was good that way. If you Google the teachers and there's not much, I'm not saying the classes can't be good. They can. You can learn from pretty much anyone. But scam wise, I would say look at the price of it for one.
So I can't take a class if it's $4,000 and it's done in 3 days.
I'd almost be worried if it was like too cheap,
Oh,
as
too cheap.
either
So,
extreme.
what would you consider dirt cheap? Like,
Well, I know there's an acting academy here in Oklahoma City, which is legit and it's very good. They have classes, and I think theirs are like 200 for a 4 week intensive.
mhm.
I'm like, that sounds good. If someone's like being like, oh, $20,
Oh,
I'm
oh,
just like, if they're worried more about quantity than quality.
right, right. Okay. So if it's $20, question the hell out of it.
And if it's too expensive, question the hell out of it.
So find a happy medium range.
Yeah.
What about those people who can't afford like to take classes? What do you give for them?
Network with other actors. You can always volunteer doing table reads. You can volunteer as well or get paid to be an extra on sets so you can see how things are done. Um, Help work behind the scenes too. Be a PA for a while.
How
Big
do you how
surprise.
have you worked on any student films before?
I did, yeah.
You did. How do you feel about working as a on a student film? Is that something that's good? Is it something that's okay, or is it or stay away from?
I
You
think
know,
it's good.
you think it's good? Okay,
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're all learning together.
okay. Because I really do enjoy the student films because like you said, everyone's learning together. Nobody is in there thinking that they know more than somebody else. And the best part is they have the best equipment off the bat. It's like, I've been on sets where I've been a little bit where I question some things that happen as in like okay equipment wise, and I'm very big at like it's not your equipment that matters, it's how you execute the whole thing. But I have been on some sets where I had someone use an iPad to film their movie, and I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna work, and they wanted a 2 hour film to do it on an iPad, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how are you going to film something on an iPad? you know, I don't know whatever happened to the project, but I was like, best of luck to you. I mean, things just didn't work out with us. I got really busy. And I just didn't have time. But yeah, so talking about that, what is the weirdest experience you had on set? Let's go with that one. Let's see what. Yeah, her eyes got big already.
Weirdest on set?
Weird, weirdest, most interesting, best moments, and then
Uh,
I'm staying away from like no more. We're done.
the most interesting, there are NDAs in place for those, so I can't share those.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
so I'm trying to think of what I can share here. Um,
Weirdest thing that happened on
well,
set?
one thing that was cool, we filmed a documentary for Amazon on an iPhone, actually, with
On
a
an
good,
iPhone? Wait,
yeah,
wait, to Amazon, for Amazon?
yeah.
And how did that come out?
Well, the Impossible Dream, and it was about the Manson murders.
Okay.
Then, I mean, it turned out great.
Wow. Well, iPhones are not a bad phone. Like, I mean, you're basically paying for the camera. Do you
Yeah,
know which model it was?
I don't.
You don't? Okay. You know how many years ago it was?
4 years ago.
4 years? So,
Five,
okay.
5 years ago. Yeah.
Their cameras got really good after like around that ballpark. So they were like looking at 4K. I think cinematic mode came in
Yeah.
during that time. So when iPhones came out with cinematic mode, it was like, oh, this is awesome. So autofocus, auto blur in the background, so it was awesome.
And if
Um,
you used a gimbal, those can be great for filmmaking.
gimbals are amazing. Um, except for bigger cameras, like I use a Black Magic, and my camera can get super heavy, and I don't want to spend the money to get a really high end gimbal because at the end of the day, you don't need all steady shots. Just remember that you got to be creative. You got to change the scene because I hate watching movies that are just totally steady. Like, have you ever watched an action movie that's like, or an action sequence that has just all steady shots on it? It's like it's not fun. It's not good. It's like it's boring. So just a heads up, guys. Don't use gimbals all the time. You know, freehand it, make it your own style, be creative. That's what filmmaking is. So again, guys, everyone's quiet in the chat today. You guys are usually talkative. Is Emily scaring you guys? Come on. Emily, what you do? You scared people?
I did, yeah,
What did you do? What did you tell them? Why are you scaring the audience?
not really.
Guys, ask questions. We're here. You know, we're here to have fun and ask questions. So let's talk about how to get roles. What is your way of getting roles? Like how do you get like self tapes besides self tapes auditions? Where do you look at? How do you find them?
Um, Agents,
Okay.
manager, my attorney,
Okay.
and people I have worked with before. So networking.
Networking. Agents. Let's talk about agents. Do you need an agent like for those actors? Because I know some people have asked me they can't get an agent. Sometimes they just can't get it. Just with their luck, they can't get one. And they're worried that they can't go anywhere without an agent. Do you think that's true?
Professionally, yes.
Okay. But do you think when they have a paid, but they can get paid gigs, they can also get paid gigs still, though, right?
Yeah.
Without an agent. Okay. So, like, fear not about that. Let's see. I'm sorry. Lance, the obscure movie guy, just got here. Well, welcome aboard. We are talking with Emily. You're the first one who messaged us, so thank you. Emily, stop scaring everyone.
That's right.
how's your night going, Lance, or day, wherever you're from? I always tell people because like it's daytime here. It's like okay, because we get people from the UK and everywhere. So for people getting involved, so you said that to get professionally somewhere, you should definitely get an agent. What would you say are the dangers of having an agent? Like not, I'm not like dangerous, but like when you have an agent, is there something that they need to watch for to make sure their agents, getting roles? Like, is there a time where you should be getting roles and you're not? When to drop your agent? Anything like that?
So normally at the end of the year, your agent can send you a whole list of every single project that they submitted you for.
Okay.
So if they are submitting you and you aren't being asked to audition, even if you haven't been called in for an audition all year, that's more you or just the project and you not being what they're looking for.
Okay.
Agent. They're still doing their work, you know? I mean, they're doing all of this work for free until you book something.
Right.
So, I mean, I would stay with whatever agent is willing to put in the work and has the connections to submit you.
Okay. So I know there are some people who have agents. I never knew that they gave you that at the end of it. I know there are just some people who have agents who don't. How would you say it? There are some agents who some actors know that when they. I'm trying to see how I can word this, but they're blaming. Basically, the agents are blaming the actors for them not getting the role, but they're getting a lot of roles on their own. So the actors are getting roles on their own, but they're not paid gigs like that. They're like independent, lower independent film, lower budget. But the agent is wanting to get them to do bigger roles, but they're not doing anything about it. Do you switch agents at that point?
No.
No,
What
keep
your
with.
agent is there for is to get you roles that do pay and that are professional. You don't have an agent to book small budget independent work or
Right,
student films.
right,
You want an agent to get you network TV shows, to get
right.
you larger budget independent films and non-independent films.
So you would say 90% of the work is you, basically. Trying to get your work, putting everything together, trying to, would you say that?
Well, if your agent is submitting you
Hmm.
and you aren't booking
Right,
those network shows, all of that, a good agent usually knows what you need to do. Hey,
right,
manager, do you need to update your headshots? Do you
right,
need to update your slate shots? Get a new reel together? Change your look? Whatever it is that you need to do. Work on your resume. Um, it's all about being sellable too. So
what would you say? What's a good, well, at that point, everyone, I would definitely say don't just stop. So don't quit basically trying to put yourself out there if your agent isn't getting you anything, because when you stop, then you're just not going to go anywhere. How do you feel about extra roles? I know we touched a little bit about that, but do you believe extra roles hinder your your
yeah,
resume? Do you think so?
you should never put extra work on a resume ever.
Okay.
I
And
mean, it's a great experience to be on set. And the first project I was on, I was an extra. I would say I haven't done that in 10 years. But I started filming a movie here in Oklahoma a year and a half ago. And the first few days of filming, they were establishing me in it. So I have like a line that's off screen, and you see me on screen the first 2 days. And then I was headed for my third day where my lines would start. And I actually got in a car wreck. So that movie, technically, I'm an extra.
ah,
I never got to finish filming. So,
okay,
which I'm okay with that. Great project, great director, crew, everyone.
okay. So, we have a new Lord Gary Dando popped in, and he says hello.
Hello.
Hello, Gary. This is welcome to the chat. We're here tonight with Emily, and we're talking about actors and acting and how she came to be in the acting industry. So he says, "How are you doing?"
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, working on a current project and just had another movie come out on Amazon last month. So it's and Netflix a few months before that. So it's good.
She's just rolling. She's going and pushing out all these great films. So let's talk about headshots. I know the big question out there, a lot of people tell me as a director when I look at people's headshots is how edited do they have to be to get a role? Like, as in, okay, so I had a friend to ask me, hey Keith, when you look at auditions and you see people's headshots and resumes, should I go really? Do you prefer people who go really, really heavy with editing, or do you try getting as basic as possible? As in, do you want more makeup or less makeup? Let's talk about that first before, like, CGI editing people's like look. When you do your headshots, do you go heavy makeup? Do you go light makeup? Or do you try being as close to who you are?
All right. So my last agency, it really depends on what your agents are asking you to do and your manager. So they're the ones that really control that,
Okay.
based off of what the market is asking for and the market that you're in, because it is different
Right.
depending on what market you're in. Also different from film or commercial.
Right.
So I had one agent that liked the more glam look, and one agent in the same agency that did not like that at all.
Right.
No makeup or very minimal makeup.
Right. So, um, for people who are in the independent film, like not professional, independent, lower budget film, what would you say to them? Would you say just do what gets you out there? Do like, how can I put it? Do what works, basically. Is that how you want to, how
Yeah,
you,
do what works. I know in the Midwest, makeup and more edited photos are a thing. Um, some of my first headshots had editing to them, but the main guy who does my headshots out in Hollywood, nothing's edited.
mm,
He does natural lighting. It's great lighting, which makes the photos look great. But I go in there and he sends them to me like right away.
nice. See, everyone, lighting is key.
Yeah.
Lighting is key. It makes a big difference. So when you want to undercut lighting, I would definitely backtrack that. So let's talk about how to turn. Okay, so here's my biggest pet peeve when I get auditions and things. And maybe you can. I don't know if you agree with me on this one, but I am so sick and agitated of getting people who send me their headshot of them sitting in their car and they're sitting like this and they take a picture of a selfie like this, smiling, and they send it to me and tell me that that's their professional headshot. And I hate it. And then some people and they're like, "Oh, that's my professional headshot. I'm waiting to get a better photographer." And that's what they'll send to me. I'm like, "Yeah, I know you're the photographer because you took it in the selfie in your car. Whether you're in a let's talk about lower budget films because there's a lot of people who are out there who are trying to get up there. What do you recommend if you don't have the money to pay for a photographer? I'm gonna say I have a budget of $50, Emily. $50, okay? What can I do with $50, Emily? I want to be an actor. What can I do with
Well, I can tell you this. You can go on Groupon, pay $19.99 or $29.99. Go to J.C. Penney's, get 3 digital headshots for that amount.
it? They do those still? I thought that was
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Oh,
They're
okay.
getting family photos done now.
All right, so everyone heard that. $20 go on Groupon. Check out JC Penney. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that. I was about to just go to Walgreens and get a picture of my passport. Just put it up as my headshot. There you go. Ask them like, hey, can I use your backdrop real quick? Um,
The only time selfies are acceptable is for extra work because they'll usually want a selfie and a full body photo.
okay, okay,
Acting gigs, they don't care to have full body photos.
okay. Well, let's talk about reels. How do you feel? Okay, reels. How important are reels in the industry? How important is it? Is it like
Not important. outside of the indie world.
Okay, so your reels in paid gigs, not paid independent indie film, but in the professional film, it doesn't matter. They don't care really
No,
too much
they
for
don't look.
real.
They don't look.
Re-
Casting directors don't look at your reels.
wow. So what do they look at?
They look at the audition that's sent in. When
Okay.
they, when your agent submits you for a project, normally like Actors Access, you have a headshot and then you have a slate shot, which is your headshot that comes to life.
Okay.
So they get to hear your voice, and they get it.
Ah.
Beyond that, then they either accept your audition and you get to audition for them, and that's all that matters. They don't take time to watch reels.
Would
Uh,
you tell people to stop making reels for independent, or would you?
and for independent work, it's needed. I know people in the independent world like having it. They'll be like, "Can you send me your reel? Can you send me your reel?"
Right.
Okay. I haven't updated mine since 2019. I've done a bunch of projects since then, but I I just haven't updated it.
Right.
People ask for it, I send in my old one. So, and like that had, I feel like, a decent amount of projects on it, so I just send that and haven't sent anything from the past 5 years.
Right. No, and that makes sense. Would you say at that point also when it comes down time to for your reels, let's talk about reels from directors because that's another big one and a lot of big issue. Getting your reels from your director, how do you go about it? I know most directors are pretty good at it. They'll just get, as long as there's communication, everything's good. Like I like to get the stuff out as fast as I can. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer and sometimes someone has to remind me, but I get it.
The clip,
Like clips, like reels, like yeah, from the director, like your clip from what you filmed. Um
yeah.
how would you go about with a director who is just not giving you those stuff? You ask for it multiple times, and I mean ask for it multiple times, not like ask it one time and just completely
Um,
anything.
so if it's an indie project that isn't streaming anywhere,
Right.
I would say just give up on it and go get another project and do
Okay.
that. It's same when people like work with photographers and they never get photos back or vice versa. And just like, don't sweat it.
Right.
You can only, you can't control others. You can only control yourself. So control what you can control. Go get more projects. Hopefully you'll get clips back from that. If you don't, oh well, just keep going at it. If it's
Just call
projects that
call
are
Emily.
streaming, even on YouTube, there are several professionals in the industry that can go get those clips for you.
Right.
You can send them any YouTube video link, you can send them Netflix, Amazon, whatever it is,
And they'll just rip it.
and yeah, they can rip those scenes for you so that you can send it to someone to have a reel done.
Yeah. And that's something to look at. So so instead of trying to play the fuss game of can I get it, can I get it, even though directors aren't supposed to give it to you, that's definitely a good route of just getting it ripped, saves you the time and hassle. Because I know so many other people who have asked me, can you talk to this director for me so I can get my reels? And I'm just like, just rip it. Just have somebody rip it off from, from what you need. Um, how long would you say a good reel would be for? Because I know from my point of view, from a director's point of view, I'm not gonna lie, I only watch the first like 15 seconds of somebody's reel. When I do auditions and I have like 50, 60 of them I gotta run through, I just look at the first 10 to 15 seconds. And if I don't like it, I'm just gonna move on with it or come back to it later. Because I gotta run through all of that. Would you agree that the first 10 to 15 seconds is like you need to?
Yes, you need to catch the attention in the first like 15 seconds. And I would say for a reel, probably the best length is about a minute.
A minute? Okay, so nothing more than a minute, not 5, 6 minutes long, which I
No,
know I had people send me a whole short film of their reels.
no one's gonna watch you for 5 minutes.
No, I agree. I agree. And people think
It's not.
I'm crazy because they're like, you're telling me that no one's going to watch me for 5 minutes? I said, no, please don't send me your 10-minute. I had someone send me a 35-minute reel of everything from when they first started, from theater plays that they did in high school, moving on and on and on. And I'm sitting here, I'm just like, I can't watch this. And the opening scenes, like introduction, is like 10, like not 10, like 45 seconds of just their headshot looking at the screen with nothing else and like really loud music in the background. And it's just like, all right, first 45 seconds, we're waiting, and we're waiting. And then the first minute it goes on. So that's something great to know for everyone out there. Don't spend your money because I know, well, spend your money on the person who can make your reels. That's for sure. Don't, I'm not saying don't, but don't don't spend your money on getting a 20-minute reel done. I would say pick what your top three recent films that you've done.
Um, Pick 3 to 5 projects and pick, 10 to 15 seconds each.
Okay.
And put those up there. Don't need full scenes. Don't need. People need to see a little bit of diversity and range, and that's it. No one wants to watch you for longer than that.
At least you understand the pains of doing that. It's, I mean, I get it. They're all ecstatic about it. People have sent me like, "Here's my reel." I opened. I'm just like, bro, like, oh, okay, I'll watch it. So speaking about range and all that other stuff for actors, how would you reach out to them and tell them, hey, everyone, we need you to. You know how there are just some actors who focus on horror, or some actors who just focus on um, drama or comedy. Do you think they should step out of the box and do a little bit something different? Or do you think if they're good at it, just have them stay there?
Depending on what their goals are.
Okay.
Like if it's to have a career in it, sometimes you have to take roles that you're really not interested in to
Okay.
then reach the point where you get to pick and choose.
Okay. Um, Self tapes. Let's talk about self tapes. Self tapes. How do you feel about self tapes?
I love self tapes. So I
Okay.
opened up a self tape studio in New Mexico right before,
Okay.
of course. But it was a big thing out in LA. You would book 10, 15-minute slots, go in there, go do your stuff. They would have it sent to you in like 20 minutes. You would be in and out and they were booked solid. So opened up one in 2019 in New Mexico, self-tape studio. It's before everyone knew how to do it themselves.
And now everyone's doing it themselves.
Yeah, and I think it's great because you can audition for projects nationwide that way.
Now, self tape. I know it's in the word self tapes. How do you feel about pre-made reel? I think that's what it's called. Oh, I forgot the term of it. I know I had people ask me to do it for them, where I write a short story, like something short, maybe like two
Okay.
minutes long. I don't know what it's called. I don't know the right term of it, but like for 2 minutes, I write a short 2, 3 pages, and they tell me I need something in this field or show me range in here, and we film it. How do you feel about those?
Um, it's a good business to have.
Well, I
And
mean,
then
besides the business part.
for the actors, it gives you an option to, if you're not getting hired for good projects, you can do that. And it puts you on the screen. Pay for 2 or 3 scenes of different genres or what you're looking for. Have those edited into a reel, and they,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Now, so at that point you have, so we got basically everything caught up and everything, like as in like your headshot, your resume, what not to put, what to put. your reels. What about your what's it audition time when you go into the audition? How do you not freeze? What is like a good way of like how do we reach out to everyone and say, listen, when you do your auditions, don't freeze? Because I know it can be intimidating going into an audition, and a lot of people now are doing auditions over Zoom, like online
Mm.
audition. Do you like doing online edition? Do you prefer in person? I mean, for me, honestly, if they're in the area, I prefer having an in person audition because I get to see the body language, I get to see
Mhm.
everything than just hiding behind the screen. Like, how do you feel about online auditioning?
Um, I like it. It's good and bad. So I know a lot of actors like in person for the fact that they feel like the directors aren't getting a full view of themselves
Okay.
through an online audition. But I would also challenge that with if you can't portray and convey what you're trying to online and through video when movies and TV shows are filmed, then that's what you should work on more.
Okay. Okay. What's a good trick for auditioning? What is your way of how you are successfully, I mean, we don't know what the casting director is going to say, but how do you go in there and give yourself the best chance at getting that role? What is that? Are you
Do a
short,
lot
sweet?
of them. Do a lot
Was
of
it
them. Do a lot of
do a
auditions.
lot of them? Okay. Well, more so when you walk in, do you be short and sweet and all nice and like, hi, nice to meet you, and just talk and talk about yourself? Are you quiet? Do you come in? You just get what you get in and get out? Less talking, more talking, like that type of feel.
It depends on what kind of project. So for larger projects, you don't have to take in your headshot and hand that or your resume over because it is sent virtually by your agent.
Right.
So you go in there, they do not want you to talk to them.
Okay. I
You
hope I
see,
expected that.
you see the spot you're supposed to stand on, you go over there, you stand there, you take direction because they need to make sure that you can follow direction. So you don't speak unless they ask you to speak. You do exactly what they say to do because no one wants to hire someone that can't follow direction because that is the whole job of the actor. Um, and then you leave. If they want to talk to you and ask you more stuff, feel free. But
Never ask anything more than what you're told, basically. Now, how do you feel about? Okay, let's go into the independent side of things. How do you feel about reaching out to a director after you got through an audition? You haven't heard from them, and you're like really nervous if you made it, if you didn't make it or not, and then reaching out to that director or casting or whatever production you are,
I'm gonna do it.
asking them, hey, I just want to do a follow up. Is there anything? How do you feel if that's something that is professional to do, or is it just if you don't hear from them within X amount of days, just think that you didn't get it, but don't reach out to that director?
Um, one of the first things you're taught in acting school: do not reach out. It is very unprofessional. Do not reach out to see if you got a role. Go in there, do it, walk out, and forget about your audition.
So I can't call
They
Emily
contact
after.
you. If they contact you, cool.
Right.
Maybe you have a follow up audition. Maybe you'll get pinned, and then maybe you audition again. But yeah, no, don't.
Darn.
Um,
If I audition for your film and I call you the next day, I can't call you the next day say, "Hey, Emily, did I get the role?"
if I was the casting director, I've helped cast one show, and no, I wouldn't do it because that it's very unprofessional.
No, I agree. Because I that was the one thing I didn't know if it was right for people to reach out after they did their audition. I remember, I think with you when we first did audition, did we do auditions with you, or was it just like hey Emily, somebody knew me, someone knew you, and I wanted to
I think that's what that
think
was.
what happened, which is fine. That happens a lot. Like, recommendation by voice is like, oh, she's a really good actress. And you look at their reels, and you might not even need to audition. I mean, you can just get right in, but make sure you know what you're doing because you don't want to make someone else's, recommendation look bad. And they're like, so what would you say for, okay, so let's look at when we talk about acting, we talked about headshots, we talked about resumes, we talked about almost everything.
Can I add something?
Yeah, yeah.
So about indie projects, like I see their stuff on Facebook or whatever, and oh, submit for this,
Right.
submit for it, but also pay attention to the directions. Because even indie directors, if you can't follow their directions to audition, they will not hire you. They will not work with you. Because if it says in the subject line, put your name and the name of the role, and you put attention instead, no, no. If you can't follow simple rules and directions,
You just hit the nail on the head, Emily. I was just about to get into that a little bit later, but you hit the nail on the head because, oh my freaking gosh, the amount of people who I just reading is simple, everyone, and I'm not like mad about it. It's just it gets frustrating sometimes because you're going to miss out on a great opportunity by not reading simple things. Like there's so many people who they're just like send headshots and resumes. I have people who don't send me. They just send me, "Hi, I'm interested in auditioning for your film. I saw your post. I don't know what you look like. I don't even know your name. I don't know what your film is. Even if you don't have a resume, like at least show some or a headshot, show some sort of picture of who what you look like because you don't need to have like a fancy resume with like your picture on it and all that stuff. You don't need it. I mean, if you want to, you can. It's not difficult to make, but there's no need for everyone not to read. Like you just like what you said. Put your name in the subject line and what role you're going for, and then you put in there, I don't know, auditioning for X, Y, and Z, and then you get it. And I'm sorry, like I know a lot of directors who are just like obviously they can't read like that, so they're not paying attention, and they just move past them, and then you miss an opportunity. Like directors, like casting directors, can get so picky, it's not even funny. Where they will, like, you can lose an opportunity just because you weren't paying attention to something. And it's as something as simple as a subject line issue. Like, and Emily, you probably can vouch for that. Like, where if you don't pay attention, like walking into an audition, if you walk into an audition, I mean, you can say good morning, good afternoon, whatever. Just be nice. Don't walk in there just like, staring at them. Um, but just listen. It's pay attention and listen and always keep in communication. That's the number one thing. You have to expect that sometimes if you're not casted in a film yet, you might not hear back from the director immediately. Would you agree with that? Like,
so the general rule of thumb is if you get cast, you will hear back.
yeah.
You won't hear back if you don't get cast.
There you go. So if you heard back, from them saying yes, we want you on, and they'll say we'll reach out to you, let them reach out to you. Don't message the director 2 days later saying, "Hey, I'm waiting to hear from you." Sometimes you have to, but just give it a little bit first before you reach out because sometimes they forget. But also at the same time, I know people when you say when they're like, "Why didn't I get this role?" and I said, "Because what did you do?" "Oh, the director said he'll reach out to me." Okay, and then 3 hours later, you email the director with 20 emails saying, "Hey, I'm just trying to see what's going on," and then you follow them on Facebook, add them on there, and you start liking their post, and then you message them on Facebook, and it gets like, yeah, no. Then they kick you out, and then you wonder why you lost your role because they don't want to be bothered like that.
If you
It's
did a good job on your audition, they'll remember you. You don't need to like all the posts on Facebook. You
it,
need to change a decision. Not
it
want something professional. It's not going to change a decision. And if it would change a decision, it's probably not a production you want to be on.
there you go. There you go. Okay, marketing yourself, Facebook. Let's talk about that real quick. We got some time left. Marketing and Facebook. What? Well, not Facebook, but social media. What would you say is your best rule of thumb when you have your Facebook, your marketing, for projects? How would you go about it? If you're working on a project? Do you believe in promoting your project? Do you believe in, like setting up your other projects and films and basic house cleaning work, like scheduling? How would you tell somebody who's new how not to overbook yourself, how to audition without overbooking was what I meant, how to show yourself on Facebook? Do you need a professional Facebook page, or can you use your normal Facebook page, and what to post on your professional page, and X, Y, and Z? How would you go about with that?
You don't need a professional one. I would understand, though, these are your employers, so whatever you post, they will see. And like a lot of employers, they can make decisions based off of what they see. So just be aware of that. As for not overbooking, I just had this situation this week. Someone asked me if I'm available the end of this month, and I'm like, actually, I'm leaving that open because I have another project, Chicago, that might be the end of this month or next month. So that I'm leaving open
When are you coming to Chicago?
with you.
Oh, I know that, but I'm like, when are you coming? And we'll get into the Red Hunches real shortly. But what did you, I thought, I'm like, oh, so you're on another project. You didn't tell me? How dare you?
Nope.
You don't want to come visit us and say hi?
Here actually was looking at casting me, and I'm like, it's not going to work with my schedule. I see that you are filming this week. That won't work for me, so I'm not even going to audition. And then also saw that it was based in the 70s. You have to be realistic on what you are good for and what you aren't good for. I have modern braces right now, which is
Eh,
not fit for a 70s timepiece. It doesn't work. So the director and I talked, and we will talk in the future about a project. So
and Emily is going to be also in the Red Huntress. Also, yes, she will be out filming everybody. Let me go open that up real quick. Hang on. I lost my mouse. There it goes. Here we go. Here we go. And voila. The Red Huntress. If just this is like my little commercial, like way if I do it, promoting the Red Huntress.
okay.
But yes, Emily will be a part of the Red Huntress casting team moving forward for episode 3 and episode 4 and on and on. And she's going to be an ass kicking monster hunter from like the 1800s. So maybe the braces could work because again, we're going into that steampunk vibe. But if you haven't watched The Red Huntress, go and watch it. It's on YouTube. Episode 1 and episode 2 is out. We're gonna make our new Indiegogo for episode 4. We're looking at getting some awesome things, awesome perks right now. We still need some help in raising funds. So you can go on our Indiegogo and check it all out. We still got associate producers, letters of the Red Huntress, you got Monster Jar specimens, and you got sponsored actor. And we will be opening up a sponsored actor perk for Emily too coming up. So stay tuned for that and go support your girl Emily. If not, she's gonna yell at you. So Lance says, I've been following the series on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you. I appreciate your support, Lance. We're really trying to push this out and make it really good. We're planning on getting on Tubi and putting this out on Tubi to start after episode 3 because we are debating on putting episode 1 and 2 out at one at a time. But we decided not to, because there's a lot of people who like to binge watch. So we want to make it awesome for everyone so they can watch the 3 episodes. But there are some awesome, cool monologues you can get. We are going to make a separate Indiegogo for episode 4 and each episode moving on, just because it can get confusing when you see, oh, this was your original goal was 2,235, and now you're 4,000. So I know a lot of people have said, hey, Keith, I don't think you don't need any more funds because I saw that you're over your budget and you made enough. I said, no, we still need help. It's episode wise. So stay tuned for all that stuff. If you want to watch it, it's on YouTube. Just type in Moviecrew17 and then hit videos, and you can watch it there. And again, you get to see our girl. Oh, it's a little bit delayed. There you go. Emily, you get to see her. Come on. Who doesn't want to see her in action?
Hi.
Okay. I'll zoom out. There you go. Is that better? The last time we were on set, the last time we were on set of Shadowbeer, that was, well, she was just all cut up like a doctor. She was like, yeah, so it was fun. But again, we are coming up on our hour this evening. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Thank you. It was a little bit quiet in the chats, but that's okay. I'll make sure next time Emily doesn't scare everybody. Okay, Emily, don't scare people, please. And so yeah, stay tuned for the Red Huntress. Everybody, check that out because we got some awesome things coming up, and Emily's going to be there. And maybe we might have a perk where you can get a 8x11 or 8x11 or 11x15, 17, sorry, signed poster of Emily gunslinging somebody down. Who doesn't want to see her fight a werewolf or vampire? Come on. So, all right, everyone, have a good night. Emily, thank you for tuning in with us and jumping on with us. I know it's a little bit last minute, but thank you for making time. And we'll see you on set. I'll see you on set. And for everyone else, don't forget to go to our YouTube, subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook at the Red Huntress series. And we'll see everyone next time. Have a good evening, everyone.